Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, farmer charged after allegedly shooting at a couple during argument. A farmer who allegedly shot at a couple during an argument on his property in Porter's Mountain District, Westmoreland, has been charged by the police. Charged with 2 counts of shooting with intent, using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony, and the possession of a prohibited weapon is 68-year-old Keith Spence, otherwise called Trash. Reports are that on Friday about 7 p.m., Spence and a couple was arguing at his home when he told them to leave. The couple reportedly made their way outside and stood on the roadway when Spence brandished a handgun and opened fire at them. They ran and escaped without injuries, the police said. A report was made to the police, and on Sunday, Spence surrendered to officers. He was charged on Monday. JPS expresses sympathy for injured firefighters, calls for end to lawlessness. The Jamaica Public Service is expressing sorrow at the reported electrocution of firefighters which took place in Greenwich Town early Tuesday morning, noting that the electrocution is believed to be due to contact with illegal connections. The company called for all of Jamaica to work together to put an end to what it described as a persistent lawlessness in the country. It requires a collaborative approach by national stakeholders and a renewed emphasis on enforcement of the legal framework, the company said in a statement to the media Tuesday afternoon, adding that the GPS will carry out an investigation into the reported incident. The company said, "We are deeply saddened that our dedicated first responders have had to encounter illegal activity in this manner." 3 members of the Jamaica Fire Brigade were electrocuted as they worked to extinguish a fire at a premises in Greenwich Town, Kingston 13, early Tuesday morning. Reports are that at approximately 2:17 a.m., firefighters received a call about a building on fire on 7th Street in the Greenwich Town community. Commissioner of the JFB, Stuart Beckford, had stated that 2 units, one from Trenchtown and another from York Park Fire Station, responded to the fire, where 3 members sustained injuries as they came in contact with live electrical wires thrown across the premises. The firefighters were taken to the hospital, where all 3 were admitted. At least one of them is believed to be in critical condition, Beckford said. IC submits 5 reports and rulings to House for tabling. When lawmakers next meet at Gordon House, 5 investigation reports from the Integrity Commission will be before the Speaker for tabling. Indicative rulings from the Director of Corruption Prosecutions have also been submitted. Jamaica's chief anti-corruption body dispatched the reports and their indicative rulings to Parliament on Tuesday, and they were received and decided for at 11:22 a.m. The Commission says hard copies of the investigation reports were submitted in separate envelopes under cover of identical letters addressed to the President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finton, Speaker of the House, Juliet Holness, and Colleen Lowe, Clerk to the Houses of Parliament. The indicative rulings were also addressed and submitted in separate envelopes. A USB flash drive with electronic copies of all documentation submitted was also conveyed. The IC says it anticipates that its investigation reports, which were submitted in conformance with Section 54 of the Integrity Commission Act, together with the associated indicative rulings, will be tabled in both Houses of Parliament as soon as possible. Section 54(4) of the Integrity Commission Act provides that where the report from the Director of Investigation to the Commission has a recommendation under subsection 3, the Commission shall submit it to Parliament for tabling. The November 7, 2023 ruling of Speaker Holness stated that reports from the Director of Investigation submitted under Section 54(4) will be tabled as soon as possible after receipt by Parliament. Witness confirms a sale of $80 million policy weeks before murder. Businesswoman Simone Campbell Collymore had taken out an $80 million life insurance policy less than 3 months before she was murdered. To add to a similar policy, she had valued at $21 million. A life insurance agent, now a branch manager, who had set up the policy, testified on Tuesday that both the businesswoman and her husband, Omar Collymore, had taken out life insurance in the same amounts and that they, along with their children, were the beneficiaries of each other's policies. Collymore, however, was the trustee for his children on his wife's policy. Explaining how she had taken out such a massive policy, the witness, who met the businesswoman through his wife years ago, said that she was earning $8 million a year and based on her age, she was eligible for 10 times her annual earnings or even more. He said it was the same for her husband, who was her business partner. Asked what would have happened in the event of Campbell Collymore's death, the witness said that the money would have been paid out to her husband even though the policy was freshly opened. However, he said that to date, no money was paid out and that the policy has been marked death, while Collymore's policies were cancelled on January 18, 2018. The 41-year-old Barbados-born businessman is being tried in the Home Circuit Court on murder and a conspiracy to murder charges for the double murder of his wife and her taxi driver, Winston Corey Walters. The alleged contractor killer, Michael Adams, and the alleged accomplices, Shaquilla Edwards and Dwayne Pink, are also on trial on similar charges. The two were killed when men rode up on motorbikes and sprayed them with bullets as they waited to be let inside Campbell Collymore's Forester Ridge apartment complex in Red Hills, St. Andrew on January 2, 2018 at 3:50 p.m. Collymore is accused of orchestrating the murder of his wife, reportedly to cash in on her multi-billion-dollar life insurance payout. According to the witness, who along with his wife shared a close relationship with Campbell Collymore, in late 2017, he met briefly with a businesswoman to discuss her purchasing the policy before meeting with the couple in a longer meeting to discuss the policies. The witness, who shared that it was hard for him to speak about his friend and a client, told the court that a day before she was killed, he and his wife, as well as Campbell Collymore's sibling and her best friend, had been out partying and that they would often party together. However, he said Collymore did not accompany them to the party that day. Turning back to the policies, the branch manager said he completed Campbell Collymore's policy on October 25 and her husband's later on November 28 as he had required additional information. Collymore, who he said did not have any previous policies, took out two policies, one life insurance and a critical illness policy for $10 million. His wife, however, already had a critical illness policy in the same amount, the court heard. Asked by the prosecutor how he would describe the life insurance policy of that amount, the witness said it was not the typical policy that is sold every day. It is a larger sum, but not for the person who earns a lot, and it was not for Collymore because really and truly they could have gotten more, he said. The court was further told that Campbell Collymore's monthly premium was $46,843. The witness will continue to give evidence when the trial resumes today. Meanwhile, earlier in the trial, defense lawyers for Edwards and Pink sought to establish that their clients had been home on the day she was murdered. Edwards' lawyer, Janoja MacDonald, questioned the data analyst about the cell site data linked to the phone attributed to her client between the early morning to 3:37 p.m. and was told that the cell site data showed that his client was connected to the cell towers in Portmore, St. Catherine for that period. He further agreed that the number attributed to Edwards was then picked up using different cell towers as it made its way into the halfway tree area and returned to Portmore. The witness, when quizzed further about the cell site data linked to the phone attributed to Edwards on the same date, said later in the evening the number was picked up by a cell site located in Lockhart Avenue in Kingston. Edwards, in a caution statement to the police, reportedly said that he was involved in the plot but did not know the full details. He said he had pulled out before the woman was killed. However, before, he had admitted to trailing her in her car, but said he did not know that she was the wife of the man who had ordered her killed. Meanwhile, Pink's lawyer Ernest Smith, who also sought to establish that his client had remained at his home on the day of the killing, similarly grilled the witness about the cell site data location. However, the witness told him he could not say for sure that his client had remained in his neighborhood from mid-morning to close afternoon, as he could only speak to the location of the phone. Attorney-at-law Diane Jobson and Sasha K. Shaw are representing Collymore. Attorneys-at-law Patrick Peterkin is also representing Edwards, and Adams is being represented by attorney C.J. Mitchell and Sanjay Smith.